welcome to UMR's True Detective Reviews. We are currently the only people in America still watching and enjoying True Detective. God, there's a lot of hate on this season of True Detective. I looked up to find out what the name of this episode was, and the first thing I found was like, 10 things wrong with this season. It's like, really? Oh man, that's not even the name of the episode. Okay. Welcome to UMR. Do you want to tell them the stuff we usually say? Because I actually totally forgot what the name of this episode was.
Like and subscribe. I can't actually remember ever what he said.
Welcome to UMR. This is Mark, and this is Katie. Names, you forgot names? And then, like and subscribe, and if you feel so inclined, please share if you know anyone who's still enjoying True Detective, or if they're not, if they're still watching True Detective, who isn't watching these.
And I can finish it off now. We're gonna start off the episode by telling you our ideas, our feelings on the episode, and give it a general rating in case you haven't seen it.
A non-spoilery, if you will.
Yeah. And then after that, we just open the floodgates and go into spoilers and everything else about the episode.
Oh, and this is not that episode, because that episode doesn't exist. This is an episode 9? There's not going to be a 9. This is... Black Maps and Motel Rooms is the name of this episode. Why? I don't know. Because they're in a motel room once?
They're in motel. A lot of people are in motels.
Oh, I guess they're in quite a bit of motels. Okay. I don't get the black maps, but...
No.
I don't know. It's a yeah reference? I don't know. No. Okay. As she said, we're going to tell you our initial impressions of it in non-spoilery, just quick sentences, and then we're going to tell you what we thought of it between 1 and 5. So, okay, it was about, it wasn't a bad episode. I really liked it, and there was definitely moments that I really enjoyed in this episode, and there was moments that gave me a question mark, which I'll get to that in the spoilery part, where I was like, huh? What?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to, again, the action, if you're looking at it strictly from a cinematography standpoint, beautifully shot, in my opinion, this episode, and I'm going to give it a little lower than I usually do. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5.
I gave it a 3 out of 6, but it's really because I liked a lot.
3 out of 6?
Or 3.6. Oh, God.
That's a lower one.
I'm just a train wreck today. I'm sorry.
3.6? Okay.
But because I really did like a lot of the things that finally came to conclusion, or a lot of the things that you've been, like, kind of getting hinted at and, like...
It answered a lot of questions.
Yeah.
The questions we shouldn't have, but we just get confused about things, and it did answer those.
Yeah.
And that's good. I like that.
And there was a lot of movement, that a lot happened, stuff's finally coming to place, more or less. It's still really confusing as to how everything fits together, but it is progressing, at least. There is still action.
I can now almost kind of little guess what this definitely feels like the ending's coming.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That it is closing some of the small storylines, and it answered a lot of questions, and it's like, we got one big storyline to finish off now. And that's how it felt. Okay, there you go. That's our little longer than usual quick impressions and our answers, and that's fine. That's what this is about, is talking. So that's what we do here. So if you don't want any spoilers, get the fuck out of here. Okay, hello, people who are still here. Alright, I didn't take any notes this episode, as you see, because I had to Google up the name, which I've done before. So we're not going to break down each character like we usually do, because this episode does kind of really run together. So let's just kind of talk about how things went down. What was the first? We kind of got the aftermath of the party was like the first thing we saw.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams was still fucked up Annie.
Annie,
and she was kind of telling Ray about her life and kind of hitting on Ray.
Accidentally. And I felt like that was what it was. It's like, shit, I'm dropping things. And I'm sure he had no idea what the fuck the forest meant. But she's like, I don't know, let me give you a blowjob and we'll forget about it. And he's like, fuck off. You're not going to blow me. What's your problem?
Yeah.
And he's like, you're way out of my league, which is bullshit, because I would totally rather make out with Colin Farrell than Rachel McAdams. Yeah, I said it. Mic drop.
I don't know if I feel like they're kind of an equal...
Alright, but still him saying out of her...
me.
That character, though, Ray, she's definitely out of Ray's league.
Yeah.
But Colin Farrell, anyways.
But kind of, I don't know, kind of not. Like, the whole season they've been building up this weird fucking tension.
Yeah,
like,
no, I saw this coming, like, 4 episodes ago. And I'm glad they did it, and they didn't do it the way I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like this regretful fuck, and that's what they almost did. And then later in the episode, man, that was probably the most genuine thing that either of them have had in a while. At least that's how it felt.
That was fucking passionate, actually.
Yeah, it was very passionate. And it reminded me of passionate kisses I've had back when I was a kid. I haven't had any recently. I'm too old for that shit. But anyways, I really did like once that actually happened. I thought that was not like her usual, I don't know, fuck it, let's just have dirty sex and I can't open up. Like, it actually seemed nice.
I loved this episode because there was a ton of progression with her character purely and out of, like, what happened to her. You know, what she saw his fucking face. She knows this person that did these horrible things to her. She can't remember the time, but and it, throughout the entire episode, like, she's closer with her dad and her sister than she was in the
her
beginning.
story arc,
like,
I think her character's story arc is the best story arc of this whole season.
Yeah.
And it's great. I liked how closed off she was, how she flat up, I'm going to use the H word, she hated her family.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't dislike, no, she hated her family at the beginning of this season. And right now, she, like, thought of them immediately, like, we gotta get you out of town, I'm gonna stay here, don't worry about me, like, that's some selfless shit, and that's really awesome, and I love that. So that's probably, I'm not just gonna say it's this episode, but the last, 2 episodes, I really liked the conclusion of the family storyline.
Her growth throughout I fucking love having watched her character just, like, open up and change and become...
I think you can make an argument of who the main character of the show is, and she would be one of the, like, no, she has better scenes, or she grows more as more than the other 3. But okay, let's move on to Frank. Holy shit, Frank!
This was an intense, awesome episode of Frank.
Ooh, I think he stole this episode. All that stuff talking about Annie. No, with just... As soon as he hit that dude with the glass across his face, I'm like, oh, shit's going down this episode. The talk between him and his wife, like, in a room. Like, she walks in, he's like, yep, so this is going down now. So I killed this dude in my office. So, you got any passports? So, you want to leave?
Yeah. And he just fucking follows through with it, too, like... Destroys his clubs that was...
Yeah, his casino and his club. Yeah.
That was kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I really liked it. And Frank's storyline started as the most confusing, and now I think it's the least confusing out of a lot. I actually figured it out a lot, and especially this episode closed up a lot of that. I was so like... I can't even remember his name anymore. Why did that one guy have to die? Stan. Why did Stan have to die? I'm so confused. Yeah. And this episode really did explain a lot of what I was confused about for his storyline. And now I don't have any questions over his storyline. I'm kind of fine on it now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's completed itself. I don't know, I've really... Frank has evolved a lot for me, too, and I really fucking love him now.
I thought he was going to be the main bad guy.
Yeah,
when I first started the season, and he's like one of the most like sympathizable characters.
Yeah, like he still is helping Colin Farrell, even though like they're working kind of against each other. Not really. They're working towards the same goal, but on opposite sides.
Yeah, well, opposite ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been like just watching him and his wife, and just the way he's like dealing with losing all of his money and having to build himself back up. He's been just a powerhouse through this series. And
I think if I'm gonna have to give anyone the best actor nom for this movie or this show so far, I'm gonna have to give it to Vince Vaughn over the other ones. Everyone's been really good, but man, Vince Vaughn, especially this episode, he is just, when he's holding that dude's head against the wall, there is such intensity in his fucking face. Like, he's really complex in this, and I really love it. And it's just brutish, just angry, like stoic, just like, ugh. I loved it. And it's like he doesn't lose his cool, and he goes and makes him another drink, and then he shoots him. Like, I really like Vince Vaughn in this show.
I was almost upset that he wasn't more, like, angry or, like, faking angry when the Russian came in and told him that he no longer owned his club or
he plays it cool, though.
Like, and he keeps a straight face, he keeps it fucking happy. And
he makes him and gives him a free drink. Like, alright, yeah, no, you can have our shit. Yeah,
I'm excited to see where I go with this. Like, where we can grow together. Like...
Yeah. I remember when he said that, when he's like, yeah, no, this is going to be a good partnership. I looked over at Katie as we were watching this, and she's like, oh. And I'm like, no, this ain't going down at all. No, we don't. And of course, like, the next scene, he's like, bang, gas, fire, bye. Bitches. I thought he was going to blow his brains out on the bar. I actually thought that's what he was going to do in front of everybody. I thought that's what he was going to do.
I feel like part of him was ready to.
Well, he put the gun right there.
Like, well, I know, but, like, it was one of those, like, if the situation goes this way, I'm going to kill him. If the situation can be, like, put under, like, just brush under the rug, then I'm going to fucking do it that way.
Yeah.
Because I want this fucking money. And I am... like, super nervous and excited to see this next episode and all of that shit that's happening.
Okay, I got a couple things. Let's talk about the big shootout, and this is gonna be a really long video, I guess. Let's talk about the big shootout. I had a large problem with that shootout.
Oh, with Taylor Kitsch?
With Taylor Kitsch in the subway. Why is it going on?
Well...
No, I know the little reasons, like, oh, the phone and the text and the picture and all that, but really, like, overarching with the story, I don't get who's Catalyst again. We say it a lot, we heard that name, I have no idea. This is that big, mega plot that confuses the shit out of me of the show, and it closed a lot of that. This episode closed a lot of the mega plot confusion. Catalyst is one thing you didn't close, and I had no idea what that gunfight was.
Because we don't really know anything about Catalyst, and that's really annoying.
It's really annoying.
They mentioned it a lot, but they haven't looked into it. If they're just gonna throw it at us the last episode, that really is fucking frustrating. Especially, like, so the army is hired on. The mercenary part of their army, And I'm not going to, even though I'm still a supporter of the show and I dislike when people are saying I'm not going to watch it anymore, I'm not going to say it doesn't have flaws, and this is a flaw. I have no idea what's going on. Like, there's this big shootout, and then one of the main characters presumably dies, and it was still a cool shootout. Director-wise, what's at the beginning of this episode, directing-wise, this was a really interesting fight. I liked it with the lights, and he sneaks up as the lights going on. I really liked it. I had no idea storyline-wise what the fuck it was going on at all. Like, besides he had pictures of the other guy that was there fucking him. Whatever. I know a lot of the Catalyst information was in those papers that they stole at the party last episode, and that was why he went after him. Like, was why they were watching the group the whole time, because they didn't want him to dive in too deep, which has been the whole, like, back and forth of the show is people fighting over, like, how much others get information.
So Catalyst had to whack them because they got too deep?
Yeah, because they have those papers, but, like, I get kind of why they did it. I kind of wish there was a little bit more of an explanation. I'm sure that maybe if I
we still have 90 more minutes to explain it.
Or they'll,
And then, when I'm on negatives, I got one other big negative. Hey, you remember when Colin Farrell freaked out and did a shit ton of drugs and completely went off the rails last episode? Where was that Colin Farrell? He was back to, like, 2 episodes ago, Colin Farrell, this episode. He was, like, the level-headed guy. Did he just lose? Did he go off the wagon for, like, 20 minutes until he called his wife and then he's no longer off the wagon? That's not how addiction works. That really bugged me. I thought he was going to be Mr. Off the Wagon Ray again, and that actually, I consider that a big negative, is he did enough coke to kill fucking Pablo Escobar last episode, and now he's back to, like, Zen dude. and that kind of bugged me.
Yeah, I didn't, but I was kind of assuming that this was just a day, and like it's not always a thing like that you can get your hands on, like especially since when he's busy, he's not usually fucked up on drugs. Like when he was.
So okay, I can see that. So you don't think he's on the wagon again? You just think
I really don't, because
yeah,
he hasn't quit. I mean, he was drinking the entire time.
Drinking's one thing, but he didn't put a kilo in his fucking nose.
Yeah.
And he didn't act self-destructive at all this episode. He acted level-headed. When she threw herself at him, he's like, whoa. Yeah. Last episode, him wouldn't have done that.
He was sober when they went to that shootout. She was obviously fucked up when they came out of it. That party, like...
Alright. I can put an asterisk on that negative and see how they play him off next episode, the last of the season, but it really did just feel like, what happened to that one? Like, I thought we were going to get back to just dirty, nasty, horrible human being, and he wasn't.
I do, agree. I hope that it kind of goes back that way. I don't know if they will, though, because he did hook up with Rachel McAdams, and,
or at least mention it. Maybe if he says something like, I had 40 days sober and now I'm back to 2 days sober. Cool. As long as he mentions that he's trying to get back sober. Instead of, me guessing. But anyways, that was my other negative. Do we have anything else to talk about? I think we covered most of the episode.
Yeah.
I got nothing else. I really like the Frank closing out all of his assets scenes. Those are really good. And he still has to... Wait, did he get all the $12 million? That's what that was doing?
I feel like
or he still has to rob
that. Yeah. Okay.
That wasn't him clearing out $12 million in safes, because I didn't think that's what it looked like.
No.
No, okay.
No, that was all of the money he had.
Okay.
There. But... So the guy that shot Taylor Kitsch, though, I did want to ask this, was that another one of Frank's guards, or was he
No, he was part of Vinci's police force. He was behind Ray, the whole time. He was
who he was.
He was the don't fucking ask questions guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who I always thought was crooked. Plus, that actor always plays crooked people, ever since Reindeer Games. You want to watch Reindeer Games? I love that movie. It's so cheesy. You can see Charlize Theron's boobs. They're awesome. Anyways, don't worry about that shit. But okay, I think we're good. If you guys watch this episode, tell us what you thought of it in the comments. Please, don't just somebody else will do it. No one else will do it. No one else comments on these. Just comment, say, I thought this about it. This is what I gave out of a 5. Anything. It would be awesome if we got some comments. As I said, like and subscribe. And even though everybody else in the world has quit watching this show, we will be doing the last episode.
Die Hard. Yeah, we're not giving up. Fuck it.
Okay, do you have anything else to say before I say the most important part?
Mm-mm.
Bye!